Commitment season continues. Welcome to Buckeye Talk. I'm Stephen Means. That's Andrew Gillis. Ohio State adds its 17th member to its number one ranked recruiting class in the country, and its 13th wide receiver, Bodpegn Miller, out of Mansfield, Ohio, Ontario High School. He's not ranked at all. 6'4", 180 pounds. Andrew, this has moved very quickly, and Brian Hartline has talked about wanting an Ohio. Well, he hadn't talked about it. I don't know. He's kind of hinted at the idea that he maybe wants an Ohio guy. He likes those Ohio guys. He hasn't had one since Jaden Ballard. Now he gets one with Bodpegn Miller, where, I don't know, a week and a half ago, this guy wasn't even really on Ohio State's radar, and now he's in their recruiting class.
Yeah, I mean, this is a cool story. You look at maybe his offer list and you kind of go, huh? And I mean, the offer, it's full of a lot of, low level, maybe P4 schools. You got Boston College in there, Iowa State's in there, Northwestern's in there, a lot of MAC schools, Western Michigan, Toledo, Ohio, Kent State. Like that was kind of the type of offer list that we're talking about. So I think you can kind of have an idea of maybe where this guy's recruitment was going. Bodpegn plays quarterback for Ontario High School, which is up in Mansfield, but he's an athletic freak. He's a really, really fast 4.43. He's got a vertical of 35.5. He's 6'4". He's listed at 6'4". Stephen, you and I saw him the other day. He's bigger than 6'4". Mm-hmm. He's probably 6'5" at this point, maybe 6'6". This is a cool story because he came and he camped at Ohio State and he impressed. And Ohio State had kind of been keeping an eye on him. They had kind of been just kind of mapping out what his situation was, because obviously when you see someone that's that big, that is moving that quickly, you've got some questions. He plays quarterback in high school, so there's not exactly maybe a ton of time to get to see him, play receiver, the position that he's going to play at Ohio State. But he does really well at this camp. He comes back for a 7-on-7. He earns an offer. And it was one of those commitments where, I brought this up with like Isaiah West. You get the offer. Isaiah West had to decommit from somewhere else, but you see what starts to happen very quickly. You see things get canceled. You see visits start to pop up, and you go, oh, okay. And I think we had a pretty good idea that this was going to happen, and now it is, or now it has happened. So, yeah, really cool story, and good for Bodpegn. It's a big deal to be a part of Ohio State's class as an in-state kid, but as a receiver, that's really impressive. Ohio State is truly national at receiver. They recruit kids from coast to coast, and they found one right in their backyard under their nose.
Jaden Ballard, the only other in-state receiver that Ohio State has brought in since Brian Hartline took over that room in 2019 officially. Obviously, he was running in 2018 for Ty Smith, but officially during the 2019 season. It's just interesting, right? Because to your point, Brian Hartline's lived in the national world. You're talking Jack Smith, the Jigba, Julian Fleming. They were 5 stars from Texas and Pennsylvania. G. Scott from Washington. Mookie Cooper was from Missouri. You got Emeka Bukas from Washington. Marvin Harrison Jr. is from Philly. Brandon Ennis is from Florida. Carnell Tate's from Chicago. Jeremiah Smith is from Florida. Mylan Graham's from Indiana, right? It's all over the map here. But also what comes with that sometimes is what we saw with Jeremiah Smith, what we saw with Carnell Tate, where it can be a bit of a headache up until the moment they signed. In fact, even up when they signed, it could still be a headache, right? This one's just a cool story, right? And you like those headaches, right? Because those headaches turn into generational prospects. And that's exactly what Jeremiah Smith is. You put up with that headache when he's making one-handed catches in spring practice and you think he might be the best receiver on your team already. Cool. But also there's room for the cool story. There's room for the diamond in the rough. I just see something here, even if it's going to be a slow developmental process for Bodpegn Miller. We actually watched him get an offer, Andrew, at that 7-on-7. He made a catch that the type of catches we see Ohio State wide receivers make. Brian Hartline said, come here. Pulled his coach over, offered him right there on the spot, and that was that. His frame, he's 6'4", 180, makes me believe maybe he ends up a tight end, maybe he doesn't, maybe Demarion Witten is what I'm thinking about. Maybe he stays wide receiver. Maybe he goes tight end. There's some people who think, no, he's going to be a long-term wide receiver. He does fit that bigger receiver mold that we're starting to see, right? Quincy Porter, Jeremiah Smith, Marvin Harrison Jr., Chris Henry Jr. Now, I understand 3 of those guys belong in a whole different category, but just if we're talking about just size, all of those guys go along with the process. So it's just Heartline has gone so national, and national prospects bring national problems. And they bring not even problems. They bring national rewards, but also national headaches, right? In-state kids don't necessarily bring that the same way. This is a kid who maybe even 6 months ago didn't even think this was a possibility, and now he joins Quincy Porter and Desi Jones as Ohio State's wide receivers. That's 3 wide receivers in the class. They want 4. Maybe they even get 5, depending on how some things shake out here. But that's 17 commitments for Ohio State's number 1 class in the country. 17 players, 6 from Ohio. Continue to listen to us wherever you find podcasts at Buckeye Talk. Get the text 614-350-3315. The weekend is just getting started. Maybe there's more commitments to come. Maybe there's not, but visiting season is wrapping up and commitment season is right around the corner. And so far, Ohio State's already got a head start there.